Plouffe with a beautiful golden uh, jacket on. And, you know, I got to meet Sheryl through videos that she was doing with me. And I'm so impressed with her. And Sheryl is a former journalist. She has spent many, many years, 25 years doing television broadcasting, and has really helped a lot of not only women business owners, but business owners become less fearful of being on video. And she's passionate about helping entrepreneurs and small businesses create and publish valuable videos and get their message out to more people. And this is such an important topic right now because everybody wants to go virtually and wondering how they can do that. And currently, she is doing online in-person events, and she's known for doing her doing away with word for word scripts and complicated tech. And because everyone who really knows me knows that my nickname is TI, technically inept. I don't like being on video. I'm always afraid of saying I don't do face live time. And she was kind enough to spend, so I hired Sheryl to say, Sheryl, I'm going to trust you and let's just do it. So we'll see what comes out of it, but I'm so thrilled to get to know Sheryl. And today she's going to help us understand how to use the video tools more effectively, how to turn on that computer and just keep in touch with a video communication, and really try to elevate ourselves in what I consider an overpopulated crowd right now. Every day you look at your computer and you probably have 10 free webinars on video and virtual. Join us for this virtual. But it is, you know, if you have that same fear that I have, it's important to know that there's someone that we can go to for understanding how to use that effectively. So throughout this session, there is a chat box, and we're going to remove all of us from the screen in a moment or so. And please, as she is presenting, keep your questions for the chat, put it in chat box. Alicia will keep track, and then there will be time. What we try to do is to offer Sheryl the screen for 45 to 50 minutes and the last 10 minutes to offer open questions. But in the meantime, do write your questions. I want to ask Teresa, where are you from, Teresa?
Oh, Richmond Hill in Ontario, just north of Toronto.
Thank you. And I just lost M. Calla. Where is she from? Maybe Mark. M. Calla, where are you from? You have to unmute yourself.
That's Kimberly, and she's in Toronto, on Toronto 4.
Sorry, I muted me.
That's okay. That's okay. And Daniela, where are you from? She'd have to unmute herself.
Yeah, sorry, from Oak Ridges. My business is in Vaughan.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, ready to start. Over to you, Sheryl, and welcome and thank you very much for all of you who are participating.
Well, thank you so much, Barbara.
Now you're in control of the video. Now you're in control.
Okay, thank you so much, Barbara, and it is a pleasure to be here with you today. And Barbara, you know, you just mentioned something off the top there about how, you know, so many people are going online, and that's what's happening is that we're recognizing both personally and professionally that video right now is our lifeline. Video has become our lifeline. We don't have a choice. We're living in quarantine, isolation, social distancing. This is an unprecedented, obviously historic time in the world. And so everyone is coming onto platforms like this, like Zoom or Facebook Live. And that's why we see so many people doing it. Having said that,
TELUS Business Connects.
What's that?
Or TELUS Business Connects.
TELUS Business Connects. Everyone is pushing to do that because we don't have a choice. From my perspective, as a video strategist, it's an exciting time for me because I've been talking about this for some time. I have been saying to business owners that video is no longer a nice to have. Video is a necessity for businesses that want to succeed in the future. It just so happens that this pandemic has forced people's hands at this. It's forced people to re-examine what is my digital presence? Am I being seen online the way I want to? And so it's the thing that's really the catalyst. I want you to think of it and look at it from the perspective of something that's positive. You know, this can be the thing that really finally pushes you, and maybe some of you have already been doing video, and that's great, to push you out of your comfort zone to really start to move in this direction. And what I hope I'll be able to share with you today are some insights and tangible real life examples of what's happening for me, what's happened for some of my clients, and how you can really start to emulate that. I'll be watching for the questions. Alicia's watching for the questions. I will be posing a question halfway through the presentation, so to see if you're paying attention. I will have a question for you about halfway through, and I hope to be able to be of service to you today. But let me share my screen and we'll kind of get started with this presentation. So let me just make sure. All right, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, I'm just going to move my Zoom box over here so that I can see my actual presentation. So bear with me for a moment. Okay, so you should be able to see that now. Alicia, would you be able to unmute yourself just to let me know if you see that on my screen, on the screen?
Great on this end of things.
It looks great. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Danielle has asked a question about, can we turn up our volume? I hear you fine. Daniela,
Okay.
we can, I think all of our audio is up high, so it might be your computer. Try that. Go ahead,
Okay.
Sheryl.
Okay, so this is about keeping your business on solid ground with video. And when I think about video, and I did some brainstorming, and I came up with 30 ways that video is really valuable to your business. We're not going to go through every single one of these ways that video is valuable to your business. The point being here that there are many, many ways that video is valuable. Just to point out a few of them, it improves SEO, it connects with your ideal clients, it increases email open rates, it boosts engagement, it provides instant credibility, and the list goes on. I have 30 of them. You can screen capture this if you like. We're also, actually, Alicia, at the end of this presentation, I don't mind sharing this deck with
Right.
Everyone as well. The reason why video is so key are for all of these reasons. And because, especially now with COVID-19, we all need to recognize that the world has changed. The world has changed, and it is never going to be the same way. We'll never be able to erase this from our history. And with as many people that have been coming online in the last little while out of necessity, some might even say desperation, because we want to keep our businesses on solid ground, that's not necessarily going to change going forward. So I think it's really key for us to understand that the world will be different once COVID-19 settles down and we get back into what is the new normal. There's now a precedent that's been set, and you will have a choice as a business owner to be on that bandwagon or to not be on that bandwagon. It's really, really key to understand that video is so valuable to your business for so many different ways. You know, one of the points here, number 10, is fosters propinquity. It's a tough word, but propinquity is a psychological closeness to people. My belief is that video is the closest thing we have to being there in person. And clearly that's the case. So I am definitely a person who believes in both offline and online. Offline marketing, there's not, of course, networking, you know, the advisory boards, obviously, whether it's virtual or in person, right? The value of that, of meeting and being together and connecting, is so valuable. Both are valuable, online and offline. And the same is true of your marketing. Offline is fantastic. You do need to be doing those things. But where we are going now is that businesses also have to have the offline, the online portion of that. You have to now have both. I am a former national TV broadcaster. I am an international speaker, and I am an entrepreneur. I spent 25 years in broadcasting, 17 of which I spent at the Weather Network, which is one of the 50 best managed companies in Canada, seen by millions of people. I've been seen by millions of people over the course of my career and have done thousands of hours of live television broadcasting. I've done some commercials. I was a college professor. I managed the news department. I was a designated trainer. And so I have a variety of different experiences to draw on and to draw from to help entrepreneurs increase their authority and income with video. So I do know something about this because, and let me just go back to one point I just wanted to make there. I do know something about this, and I want to really drive home the fact that there is a massive parallel between the business model of network broadcasting, network TV broadcasting, and the business model for entrepreneurs in the new era, like the new world that we're moving into post COVID-19. So let me explain. On television, my job as a weather presenter was to create content, deliver that content, build an audience, and we monetize that audience. We monetize that through advertising mostly. In the entrepreneurial space, in the small business space, the same thing applies. You are, and I really encourage people to think this way, you need to become a mini media company. You need to be the broadcaster of your own enterprise. My view is that it is your responsibility as a business owner to be tooting your own horn, broadcasting your message, sharing it with the world, and marketing effectively in the world we live in now. Marketing in 2020, not marketing like it was 1999. And I'm a huge Prince fan. But in this case, we do not want to market like it's 1999. We want to market for the year we live in. And now with COVID-19, things are changing, and we have to adapt and pivot with it. The models are similar. We are creating content. We are broadcasting that out, we're drawing in our audience, and then we're looking at ways to monetize that audience. It may be different for you in terms of the monetization model, how you do that through your products and through your services, but the essence of those models is actually very similar. And so entrepreneurs now really need to be thinking about becoming mini media companies. And that's what I hope that I'll be able to impart to you today, that you can do this. You don't have to go out and necessarily hire a video production team that's going to follow you around every day of every month of the year, but that you can do a lot of this through simple tools, and I'll get into this later, through your smartphone, through a webcam, through live broadcasting, which we've been seeing so much more of. So I have worked, and some of you know Wendy Buchanan. She's an eyewear image expert, and I've worked with Wendy. I was helping her. I worked with her over the course of about 6 months, and we got her YouTube channel going, her first 100 subscribers and 15,000 views, and literally starting from scratch. And the videos were produced on an iPhone, right? So I've worked with a variety of different clients. Nicole Pereira, I have been working actually with her for the last little while, and 3 years or so now. So, I'm producing videos for Nicole as well, for Honda. And so we've got performance metrics here with lots of green arrows going up. Again, these videos produced on a phone. I love Frank Kern, big fan. Frank Kern says the best way to get clients is to demonstrate that you can help them by actually helping them. This may seem like a novel concept, but it's so true. When I speak about authority building and positioning yourself as an expert and authority videos and how to increase your authority and income, we do this by giving, by being of service, of providing help to people through content marketing without really expecting anything in return. It is about reciprocity. So I love how Frank Kern puts this because it's just so blunt. Sometimes we as entrepreneurs make things more complicated than they need to be. We get very caught up in the marketing funnels, the fancy funnels. We get caught up in trying to cobble together 8,000 tools, monthly subscriptions ranging from $30 a month to $1,000 a month, right? And we're trying to cobble all these things together, and we're spending so much time putting all these technological things together. Barbara, I know you suffer from TI, so so do so many people, but we spend so much time trying to cobble these things together when we really ought to look at it and say, how can I make this a lean machine, right? How do I simplify my business strategy and not get so caught up in all the fancy funnels and the paid ads and all of these things that we're marketed to? It's not really our fault. We're marketed these things. You're targeted on Facebook, and you see ads of the next shiny object and the next thing that you need. You need this thing, you need this subscription, you need that thing. And it's challenging because they're very convincing. They're marketers. So they make you feel like you need this thing. You know, I think back on, I actually did a Facebook Live on my own page not too long ago, or was it YouTube? I can't recall. And I talked about it. I actually did a brainstorm of all the tools, all the things that I have bought, you know, used, tried to cobble together, spent so much time trying to learn how to use. And I look at that now, and some of the tools are key, but not all of them. And I have been doing something like kind of cleaning house, frankly, in my own business. And it's helped so much to take a step back and look at it and go, am I just helping people? Am I creating content and doing the things that I have to do to help people? Because if I can do that, I'm demonstrating that I can help them. That's how I'm going to be able to get clients. That's how you're going to be able to get clients. So thinking about content marketing from a different perspective, in that it's about reciprocity. So there is a framework that I call the 4P framework, for lack of a better name. I didn't come up with like a fancy marketing name for this. I was thinking, okay, what am I going to call this framework that I've developed? And I thought, I'm not going to get caught up in all the marketing stuff, sitting here for 5 hours brainstorming a fancy title to this. I'm calling it simply the 4P framework. And there's maybe a little bit of a lesson in there as well. Sometimes you just have to keep it simple. But there is a 4P framework that I utilize for myself and for my clients. And I'm going to share with you what that 4P framework is right now. I just wanted to remind you to post your questions in the chat. Please do not hesitate. No question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I love to be able to help you. And I really hope that by the end of this training, that you will have something tangible. That's my intent. I want you to have something tangible that you can walk away with and go, this I can implement, this I can do. I hadn't thought of it that way before. And that's my intent for you. So please don't be shy to post in the chat. So here's the 4P framework. Plan, produce, publish, and promote. I'm going to go through each of these steps, show you real life screenshots of metrics and examples of different things throughout these 4 stages of what I call the 4P framework. But this is essentially the framework that you can apply to create videos that will position you as an expert, authority, resource, leader in your field, which in turn helps you to increase your income. Because when you're positioned as an expert, when you're positioned with authority, you can charge what you're worth, you can increase your prices, you get more attention from outside publications that find you and want to work with you and invite you onto a training or a podcast or a virtual summit or on stage. Because remember, this is not going to last forever. Events are going to come back. All of those things, it shortens the sales cycle. So many reasons why authority is one of the best things that you can invest in. And the great news is it does not have to be complicated. We make it more complicated because we as entrepreneurs are just, I think we're addicted to being busy. We're addicted to that. And we try to find all the things and it's like, oh, I gotta, and it doesn't have to be that way. So let's go through each of the steps that I am simplifying this, that there's more involved in the planning stage than what I'm presenting here, but I really just want to hone in on the key concepts of the planning phase. One of the things that most people think is that and listen, I worked with entrepreneurs who've done their own videos, right? And they're like, well, I heard I was supposed to do videos. So I just went out there and I just did a video and I just did, and then they wonder why are there crickets? Why is no one engaging with this? Well, it's typically because they haven't done this step. They haven't done the research and haven't applied a reverse engineering, thought process behind the video that they create. Long before you press record or go live, you have to plan. One of the places that and let me tell you a little bit about my own strategy. I really believe that entrepreneurs need to re-examine their own video strategies at least once per year, if not doing a check-in even halfway through the year. So last year, my strategy was Facebook Live, and there were reasons for that. Part of it was because I wanted to nurture my existing audience. Part of it was because of what was going on for me personally, and we were moving and all these things happened that I couldn't edit my own videos at that point. So I was like, okay. So I examined all of these different things for myself and said, you know what? Facebook Live is where I'm really going to pay attention. I'm going to make that my core platform last year. This year, my core platform has changed. This year, it's YouTube. Why? Because I know that I need to get my message out to new people. I need to be discovered. And Google owns YouTube, and they are the first and second largest search engines in the world. So when people are Googling things, if you have content on YouTube that is relevant to that search topic, you're going to get found because you'll be on the first page of the Google search results. So I knew I needed to reach new people. So I changed my strategy to YouTube. YouTube is the best platform to do this part. It's the best platform to do the planning, the keyword research, and the reverse engineering. I want to share with you some screenshots of my own metrics. These were captured, I did these last night. So this is as of March 4th to the 31st, yesterday or the day before. In the last 28 days, and so I can't mark on the screen right now, but if you look up to the right-hand side, you'll see where it says advanced mode, and then just under that, it says last 28 days. There's a drop-down menu in your analytics in YouTube that you can choose, in the last 7 days, in the last 14 days, in this case, the last 28 days. And you can see these metrics, impressions, click-through rate, views, and unique viewers they're going through the roof right now, with unique viewers up 311%, only in the last 28 days. Views are up 304%. I've had 23.4 thousand views of my content in the last 28 days alone. I have an increase of 15% on my impressions and click-through rate. So that basically means the number of people who are seeing my thumbnail and clicking on it because they're interested in the thing I'm talking about. 8.3 is a very good click-through rate. You want to range anywhere from, anywhere from 2 to 10% is really good. 5 to 10 is especially good. Impressions, meaning the number of people who are just exposed to the content that I'm making on my channel, is up by 107%. Just do something. Just in the last 28 days. So the reason why these analytics are showing this is because I have implemented a reverse engineering strategy and a keyword research strategy, which is finding the lowest hanging fruit. Where are the opportunities? So I want you to really think about your own expertise right now. What is it that you are better at than 80% of most people in your industry, or in what you do? Actually, not just in your industry, 80% better than most people in what you do. You can position yourself as an expert, and there's a huge opportunity, especially on YouTube, to do this keyword research, to do this reverse engineering aspect of it that actually translates to other platforms as well. So what I like to do is I have a whole system where I go, okay, what are the things people need help with? And I start a whole process where I start looking for keywords, and then I turn those into long tail keywords. And I have tools on my YouTube channel called TubeBuddy, and I also use a tool called Keywords Everywhere. And with those two very inexpensive tools, like TubeBuddy is, I want to say $9 a month. keywords everywhere is very inexpensive for what it does. These are not expensive tools, but they're key tools if your core platform is YouTube. These are, in my view, necessities. But it also helps you from the standpoint of reverse engineering and keyword research so that you can get results like this. This is a snapshot of a video analytics from an actual video itself. So the last slide was the overall, it was a snapshot of metrics for my channel. These are snapshots of metrics for a specific video. So let me tell you about this little video. It's called Look Better on Zoom. Touch up your appearance on Zoom. It's what I call the little video that could. It's like a little engine that just keeps going and keep moving. This video was produced it was in January of 2019, so it's over a year old. Why I published it was because I found a setting on Zoom that you can click on, a little toggle button that allows you to touch up your appearance. And I was like, this is really, it's right in my wheelhouse because I do video. So I thought, why don't I make a little video about this? This is great. And I just shot it on my phone, and I captured myself talking about it and showing it. And you know, it's 1 minute and 44 seconds long, so it's under 2 minutes. This little video was doing well on its own. You can see on the graph here, there's like a period of time, like from, you know, where it's flat, flat, flat. So it was getting some views, which was fine. But in the last 28 days, look what it's done. It's just shot through the roof. Why? The reason why is because in early March, this little video got picked up by the Daily Mail Online UK. They emailed me and said, hey, Sheryl, we see this video that you did. Could we use this in an article that we're producing on how to use Zoom? And I said, of course, absolutely, feel free. That's fantastic. Thanks so much. And then I started coming into my, and I didn't really think about when would it be published or whatever. I started looking at my analytics and going, what's going on with this video? And I was getting these weird messages on here. It said like, your views are up by 300% and 139%. And I was like, what's happening? And then I see the graph and I go, oh my gosh, the article, right? So, and then this little video then also got picked up by Zoom Communications themselves, and they included it and embedded it in a PowerPoint presentation that they published. So this little video, under 2 minutes long, produced very simply, was doing well already on its own, but now it's gotten picked up by others who recognize the value in it for their own publications. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have content, you never have this opportunity. You never have this opportunity if you've never created the content. And there was no way for me to know last year in January that this would happen. And now this video not only is getting over 1,900, it's so high that it's not even registering. It's like, it just says over 990% increase in views, in unique viewers, in impressions. 69% click-through rate impressions are, you know, it's up by that much. So it's largely because other people have picked up on it. You don't have this opportunity if you don't make content. And this video is also helping my overall channel analytics. So really key to understand that if you just hang back and you don't make the content, none of this good stuff can happen. It's really, really key to understand that. Produce. You want to produce this content in the most efficient way possible. Smartphone and webcam. Today I'm using a webcam called Logitech 4K Brio. And actually in the Eugenie app, I have a free online video success toolkit that you can find through the Eugenie app that takes you to my Amazon storefront and shows you which webcam I use. And there's a link for it and everything. That webcam is far and away the best webcam and probably best investment, one of the best investments I've ever made. And then second to that, I just use my phone. This is an iPhone 10 and it's great. Now, the big tip I would give you if you're going to be using your phone to produce videos is that you want to think about it. It's not just a phone. If you're going to use it for videos, I would try to get the maximum memory possible, 256 gigs, or I think there are certain models that you can even do double that. That was one of the best decisions I've ever made because, now I think with iPhone, if you're getting something even more, modern, typically they have higher capacity, but it used to be back in the day, when iPhones were fairly new, there wasn't as much memory. So if you're going to be using your phone for video, you want to try to get a little higher in the memory department. But using a smartphone or a webcam is really the key. You don't need fancy equipment. You really don't. That Amazon storefront, I show some of the tools that I like and recommend, but they're not necessary. Use what you have. Start with what you have. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs make excuses for not doing the videos because they're really trying to mask something deeper. They're trying to mask and hide from a fear of being on video and not liking the way they look and sound, and they make excuses for not doing the videos, and they hang it on the equipment. I don't have I couldn't possibly make the videos. I don't have the right equipment. And it really has nothing to do with that. It has something to do more internally with their, fear of being ridiculed, fear of getting it wrong, fear of not knowing what to say. But as an entrepreneur, your job, coming back to what I talked about earlier, I think it's your job and responsibility to be the broadcaster of your enterprise. I was terrified when I first went on the Weather Network. I didn't know really that much about weather. And here I was going to go on national television to talk about weather. And I didn't know that much about it, but I did it anyway. I leaned on what I could. I talked about what I knew until I could learn on the job, and I learned fast. You have to think that way too as a broadcaster of your own enterprise, a mini media company. These videos are all produced on a webcam or a smartphone. And they range anywhere from, again, 8.2 thousand views, 2,000, 869, 396, 3.6. What would it mean to your business if you could have tens of thousands of extra views on you, your ideas, your thoughts, and the value that you provide? It would have a great impact on your business. So it does not have to be complicated. I took some snapshots too of, on the right-hand side, it's a snapshot of analytics from my YouTube channel, which is my strategy this year. And on the left is a snapshot of my performance and insights from my Facebook page last year. The numbers, you'll see where it says 38,000 minutes viewed. Those are the numbers that I had 38,000 minutes viewed on my content on Facebook last year without doing any editing. Just live streaming on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Those numbers have since gone down. See where it says it's down 38.4% from previous 365 days. Well, I'm not surprised because now my focus isn't on Facebook, it's on YouTube. But the point being here that I had 38,000 minutes viewed on Facebook last year. This now on my channel, just in the last 365 days on my YouTube channel, I've had over 64,000 views. So really, I'm up and around like the 90,000 plus views of my content using a smartphone or a webcam. It's really does not have to be complicated. I look at some of my favorite, experts and in marketers and influencers, like in the marketing space. These are my people, like Lewis Howes and Amy Porterfield. You might recognize some of these names. Gary Vaynerchuk, Brendan Burchard, Jasmine Starr, Marie Forleo, Billie Jean is marketing, and Derek Halpern. I went back and I looked at what did their videos look like at the beginning of their own channels. So I don't know their YouTube channels. And I took snapshots of some of their earliest videos. And this is what they looked like. Do you see anything fancy here? Likely, and I don't know this for a fact, but likely these were all done with a phone or a webcam. I don't know that for sure, but based on what I'm seeing here, there isn't anything fancy about this. But each of them started likely with what they had. They didn't get all caught up in, I don't have a $3,000 DSLR and I don't have someone to do it. And they just said, no, hey, listen, I've got something to share. I'm going to get on and I'm just going to use my phone. Look at Jasmine there with the black hair in the middle. If you don't know Jasmine, that looks like a wall with newspaper glued on. I don't know. There's nothing. Marie Forleo on the bottom left is just sitting on a brown couch. There's nothing fancy about this. So stop trying to think that it has to be fancy. Step number 3 is publish. So we've got, social media, is probably the one we think of the most, right? It's like the world is on social media. And so you need to have a digital presence on social media, whatever that looks like. I subscribe to the idea of having a core platform and then having secondary and tertiary tiers of distribution of that content, and that you repurpose it as much as possible. When you're working solo or when you're working with a small team, you have to leverage that video content as much as possible. Social media, obviously, is a place where you need to be. You have to have a presence there. And also a website or a blog, obviously, is a hub for you. And likely most of you have a website or a blog. Share that content to your blog. I like to think of it this way. When you create content, you're really trying, and what you're really doing is you're giving people a way to connect with you. And when people connect with you and you're able to build that relationship and nurture them, that in time, that will become money to your business. So you create to connect and to convert. This is essentially what this model really is. And the beautiful thing and why it's in a triangle is because you create one video, it's living, it's a living asset in your business. It continues to live on, and it's able to reach exponentially more people than just one. So now you're able to connect with multiple people. Those multiple people become fans and followers, and they will likely share that content out with their network to just help you connect with even more people. Well, now that you've expanded your network and you've expanded your following and expanded your fan base, you have the potential then, with the right sales structure in place, of course, to be able to convert to sales in your business. So it's really a simple concept, but we like to make it more complicated than it really has to be. And the final step is to promote. You have to think about, how am I promoting this? You can use your videos in email. I would recommend that you do. You can use your videos and the links for your videos. Let's say they're published on YouTube as an example. You can share those links in groups that you're a part of. Add value in groups so long as you're following the group guidelines. You can send messages to people with links to your content. You can suggest your own videos in your own videos. So making suggestions of other videos people can watch of yours in your content. That's a really big play on YouTube. And you can also schedule posts. If you are using a Hootsuite or a Buffer or something like that, you can schedule those posts out. So lots of different ways to then take that content, and don't just put it out once and forget it. What ways to continue to keep that content and those assets driving more engagement, driving more traffic to your business. So this is, I've never shared this actually. This is a snapshot of my video strategy. Okay, so there's going to be a question coming up for you in just a moment. I really want you to pay attention to this. Look at the middle of the screen. It says weekly core content, and it's a YouTube symbol. So my core platform is YouTube, as I described. From there, and that's where my focus and my attention goes. Every Thursday at 9:30 in the morning, I publish a video on my core platform, which is YouTube. From there, we share it to Pinterest, to LinkedIn, to Twitter, share it to the blog post. The blog post is then sent out in a weekly email to drive back to the blog post, which then has the video embedded in it. I also send it to a program that I use for branding and closed captioning. That then is turned into a vertical video for IGTV. And because it's set up to have a preview of the IGTV on my feed, it's feeding my Instagram account. I also turn the audio into, I extract the audio from the video, and then I put that on a weekly podcast. So now I'm on iTunes, I'm on Spotify, I'm on, I think, 8 other audio platforms. 7 days later, I take that same content, I share it to Facebook and upload it natively. Also, I do a weekly live stream on Tuesdays. And the other part on the left is really just more like in the moment engagement posts, like on Snapchat, on TikTok, or on Instagram stories and Instagram Live. I admittedly right now learning about TikTok. I don't really know that much about it yet. I'm trying to figure out my strategy there and haven't done much with it. Snapchat, I haven't used a lot now because I feel like everyone's on TikTok, but I do use Instagram stories and Instagram live fairly regularly. I'd say almost daily I'm posting on Instagram stories. So that's my strategy. The thing that's you want you really think about is what's in the middle: weekly core content and weekly platform. You have to decide as an entrepreneur, what is your core platform? So this is where I'm going to ask you to unmute. We're going to have a little quick discussion about your core platform. And you can unmute and I'll stop sharing. And I'd love to be able to help you with some decision making around what is your core platform. So you can unmute yourself.
You want to sing?
Yeah, go ahead. And if you could just say your name and then tell me what you think your core platform is.
Unmute, name. Who asked that question? Michelle? Sheryl, there are a lot of questions, but we will not have time for all of them because they have been very detailed.
Okay.
So we're going to have to pick the ones that are extremely valid. But if anybody wants to answer, ask a question of Sheryl right now, please unmute yourself and answer the question she just asked.
Let's go with one volunteer to talk about core platform. We'll just do one.
Okay.
I can, Michelle.
Michelle, hi, Michelle.
Hi. So for me, my core platform is Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because I've been on there the longest and I have 3,500 Facebook friends there, and my Facebook page is over 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's bigger than Instagram. Instagram would be my secondary one.
Okay, good. Yeah, and you know what? For me, when I made that decision last year, I really wanted to nurture my existing, so you have a pretty good platform there. When and if you decide I need to reach new people, that's when I would recommend really looking at that and saying, okay, now is this becoming a YouTube strategy? Because if I need to reach new people, that's a better strategy.
Right. And actually, since all this started, I've been doing videos, and now I'm building my YouTube channel with videos. This whole thing has forced me to start doing videos.
Yep.
Where I've said I'm going to do videos for the last year. Now I've actually really started.
Good.
Linda from Puerto Rico.
I have a question. My core platform traditionally has been LinkedIn. That's where I have the most contacts, and that's where I've traditionally had best results because I'm purely B2B play. Not that that matters anymore in social media, but you can't see my wrinkles, but I started a long time ago. Hola, bole. No.
Well, here's what I'd say.
And so my question is, how do you, because LinkedIn has LinkedIn Live now, which I haven't done, but how do you post on multiple? So, do I take LinkedIn and I move to YouTube, or how can I share both, right?
So a couple of things. One thing is, for those of you who are really heavily in B2B, and that's really the core thing that you do as a business, and LinkedIn is a great opportunity, absolutely. LinkedIn Live, I don't even have it yet. I've been, it's being rolled out in a sort of a beta stage. I've applied for it and I still haven't gotten it. I'm getting frustrated because I really want to get on LinkedIn Live. So it could be.
Yeah, but some of the people, I don't know why they have it, really.
Yeah. Well, again, it's not everyone's doing it properly. That's one of the problems, Linda, right? Not everyone is doing videos properly. They're not following a structure to be able to help them actually position themselves as experts. They're just going on and just doing a video for the sake of doing a video and then wonder where the people are because they haven't done the structure. So to your point, LinkedIn could be really great. How do you repurpose it? Well, you have to, again, back to strategy. You've got to really think about, okay, well, I need to drive traffic to my core platform. That's why I'm asking this, because your core platform is the thing, especially with YouTube. You want in the first 24 hours to be driving as much traffic to YouTube, not taking the video and putting it on Facebook. You want to put everything going. So if your core platform's LinkedIn, what I would recommend then is you publish it there and you're driving all other traffic to LinkedIn. because it's going to help you.
But if LinkedIn, and I haven't even done the investigation, right? So, but if LinkedIn, I can't do video on LinkedIn, how do I do the reverse? Take the LinkedIn, 3,000 contacts and move them to a YouTube channel. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's part of a bigger conversation, but
Okay.
So let's try to get through other questions.
But good question.
Ms. Kella, what's your question? I never know the name.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, Michaela.
Look where all the flowers.
Yeah, I've been
What?
on LinkedIn.
What?
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is, but there's some background noise. Please go, continue.
So I'm both B2B and B2C, my business. And so I've been primarily on LinkedIn, but I'm a mobile hair service. And since the COVID pandemic, I've been thinking about doing video, which is super scary. But teaching people how they can do their own hair. And obviously I'm not gonna teach people to be hairdressers, but in the interim, they can certainly embrace,
Personally, I think that's a really important one to explore, because I don't know if anyone heard me, but I'm going grayer and grayer, and we're going to now start seeing people with haircuts that they don't like, bangs that need to be trimmed. So anything you can do to help people, yours is a perfect one to demonstrate live.
and actually, so one of the videos is going to be a bang trim. Another one is going to be how to do a son's haircut. I'm not going to encourage people to like do a real cut, because that's of course tricky, but also how to do choose a box color at Choppers, right?
Perfect.
And then I wondered if I could do something called Just Ask Tomoko. So where people either email in their questions and she answers them, or there's a like a Zoom in, and then people will say, see my hair, and I don't know. Is there?
I don't know. Sheryl did a great one when she said how to look better on Zoom, and look at what she got. So yours is a perfect one to start thinking about videos.
my little video is less than 2 minutes long, and it's at 16,000 views now. It just keeps growing and growing, because it's really a how-to video.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of, Michaela, like, you had all kinds of things you could teach. All kinds of things that everybody on this call could teach. But the lowest hanging fruit is how to. Why? Because people are actually going on Google and they're going, how to color my own hair, how to cut my bangs.
Yeah.
If you were to use the reverse engineering strategies that I teach, right, with YouTube especially, I almost bet that I could go in there and I could find what that long tail keyword would be that would guarantee to get you views. I know it. I know I could do that.
Okay, well, we should talk.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But that's
Alicia, can you please put the chat box live on the side so we can just review those questions and see if we can cover 2 or 3 of them? Is that okay with you, Sheryl?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, I don't know. You have to put it on the side so everybody can see them.
They would have to open it on their own.
Yes.
Well, how do I open this one? Oh, there it is.
While we're getting, because we'll
Go ahead,
we're
Sheryl.
going to move into Q&A here. I just wanted to, and I was going to do this on the presentation, but I'm just going to give you a quick framework. One last little thing.
Sure, go for it.
If it's a how-to video, let's say, which is something that all of us on this call can do. Here's the strategy to create that video. You want to use what I call like a 3E video outline. So it's engage, educate, and enroll. Engage, educate, and enroll. If you follow that framework, whether it's live stream or recorded, you will get success with video. What most people don't do, they don't structure it that way. They either omit the enrollment, they don't do the engage, they're not educating, they're talking about themselves. Those are the reasons why people's videos fail. So engage, educate, and enroll. Okay, I'm ready to take questions.
I'm pulling out some of them for you, and sorry, I'm not even looking at the names. I'm just looking at the questions. Are there instructions on setting up a YouTube channel? I am starting to post videos and sharing on YouTube public, but wonder how to expand this.
Yeah, there are lots of, honestly, if you went to Google, or if you went to YouTube and just like how to start a channel, in fact, even YouTube themselves have tutorials on how to start channels because they want people to start channels. Starting the channel is the easy part. The technical part to start and to, pardon me, initiate a channel is easy. The hard part is filling the channel up with content, right? It's like, I can set up a channel, that's no problem. But the problem then becomes, what do I put in the channel art? There's specific things that you have to do and know about what to put in the channel art. What about the links? What about the content? One big tip that I would give you for those of you who are starting your channels is I wouldn't necessarily be out there like promoting my channel if I don't have at least one row of content first. Don't go out and, so you start the channel, you have one video, you have two videos, but it looks pretty sparse at that point. Right? So I wouldn't necessarily be going all full. I did this with Wendy when we started her channel. I said, Wendy, don't tell anybody about the channel yet. Wait till we've got a good row, because when people arrive, we want them to have a good impression that there's content here, even though you're starting out. So that's my big tip for that.
Mm-hmm. Would it be better to send the links to content on your own blog to drive traffic?
Yes, again, back to engage, educate, enroll. That enrollment piece can be a variety of different things. It can be profit generating or audience building. Audience building would be things like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. New videos every Thursday. A profit generating one could be, check out my website, register for my free training, register for my live event, save your seat for the whatever. So yeah, you definitely want to be taking people off of YouTube, right? You want to be able to capture their information to be able to create your database, your email list.
What is your closed caption program that you use?
I use a program called Clipscribe, and I will send a link to that to Alicia. Clipscribe, I did a video on my YouTube channel about that. You should go check that out as well. It's really amazing. It's a program that allows you to do so much more than even just captions and subtitles. It allows you to brand. It allows you to resize. We actually use that program in our expert video exposure program, where we create videos for people. We interview people, and then we take their sound bites and create videos from what they've said in their own words. And we use that program in part of that, in that process.
Where would you start if you have no platform at all right now?
For most people who are, again, really good at what they do, which you wouldn't be in business if you weren't, I would start with YouTube. If you're starting from absolute scratch, like I don't have an online presence at all, I would start with YouTube because it's a discovery platform.
There are two members on this call right now that are fabulous artists. Both happen to be from Abbotsford, by the way. And so they're artists. So what would they be I don't know, what tips? So Linda and Sheryl, if you have a specific question on how to promote your art using YouTube or one of the platforms, because I think, Linda, you asked a lot of questions about what tools and, are you going to make the list of them? Go ahead, Linda, and ask a specific question as it deals with your art that you want to promote, because that's really what you do.
Where are you?
Linda, you have to go off mute, or Sheryl, you could ask the question.
Well, I'm totally flummoxed because I have no idea where to, what I would be promoting outside of maybe the creative process or the process in the studio.
I think with artists, it's an interesting situation. It depends, again, because if you're an artist and you're selling your art, like your business is to sell your original art, versus an artist who has created a business teaching other people how to do art, and they have courses or they have programs. Like those are two different, the strategy is different for both of those people, even though they're both artists. Mm-hmm. So it does have to do with strategy. It does have to do with what your offer is to help determine what is the best place to do it. So I would say if you're and listen, by the way, you'll all have an opportunity to book 15 minutes with me in my video strategy hotline. So that's a 15-minute call that you can book, and we're going to give you the link. that you can book that with me and we give you quick wins. Just, I implemented this in the COVID-19 world that we are in because people need fast answers. So you'll all get that opportunity. But real quick, I would say if you're an artist, my initial instinct is to say Instagram, because Instagram allows, it's so visual, and likely the art is, again, it's beautiful, right? So it has that aesthetic appeal. You could do, and there's so much you can do with targeting, with stickers and other ways to like location tag what you're doing. If you're trying to sell your original art, my instinct is to say Instagram. If you are someone who is an artist, but you sell courses and you want to enroll people in programs, and you can talk about art on YouTube from the perspective of how to create your own art, what tools to use, what paintbrushes, what paint, what is oil paint, blah, blah, blah. I don't know anything about art, but all of that world, the people who are interested in knowing about art, like that's a YouTube play.
Mm-hmm. I want to go, I know we're running out of time, we have 4 minutes, but I do want to emphasize what the value that Sheryl is offering. And she had, and it intrigued me from the very beginning. And it was like, she's asked the questions, do you want that aha moment? Do you want that aha moment? And with that, she's offering those 15-minute video strategy hotline for quick wins. So she'll Zoom in with you. She will ask you specific questions. And if she feels there's a quick win that you could be concentrating on, basically, can she help that person going forward? And I just think that's a really great strategy, 15 minutes of time. And I'm going to do a plug-in for us, Marg and I up here for virtual Grow Your Biz boards. We are going to do the same thing. We are going to offer a 1-hour complimentary session to find out exactly what a virtual advisory board could do for you. We will start that probably mid-April, not sure if it'll be mid-April or when, but if you know, you can all help us with looking at how can we build global boards, because it would be very important for us to learn from each other. What is that artist doing in the UK? What is, Tasneem is here from the UK and Portugal as well. I just think that that's a really good win. And so Sheryl, the closing is up to you now. And I also just want to remind everybody that thank you that I think we got through most of the questions, but Alicia will be sending out immediately an evaluation of this webinar. Then by tomorrow, you will absolutely have the YouTube link that will provide this whole recording, as well as Sheryl is offering her deck, so that you will receive this as being one of the participants in today's webinar. So thank you all for participating. And Sheryl, your closing remarks.
Thank you. I see a lot of questions in the chat, and we, and this is a topic that does conjure up a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions to answer. So what I would recommend is I've put the link in there, and Alicia will send that out once more, calendly.com/SherylPlouffe/hotline. I know it's a long URL, but I created it for COVID-19, so it came together quick. Bring those questions to that call if you'd like, and more. You'd be surprised at how much can be accomplished in 15 minutes. I've done many of them since COVID-19, and it makes me happy because at the end of the call, most people are like, what? I never thought about that. Great idea. Something new, a new perspective. Sometimes you need that second set of eyes on what it is that you're doing to really save you a ton of time and effort, and something that might not actually be working for you based on your goals. So please do this. I have other trainings. I do YouTube, I have Facebook, like connect with me. I'm at Sheryl Plouffe. Just connect with me. Happy to help you in any way I can. Training going on tomorrow again for 2 hours. So lots going on. Thank you so much, Barbara, for this opportunity.
Well, Sheryl, thank you for being such a great presenter. Just so that you know, Sheryl is part of the Cambridge Grow Your Biz Advisory Board. We're pleased that she's a member. And we are looking forward to your participation in many other webinars. And I look forward, so give us about 3 weeks and you'll see what she has done for me. And for you too.
Right, right, exactly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here and with you all. It's really my pleasure.
Thank you all. And Alicia, send out the evaluation while it's hot on your minds, ladies. We want to hear. Okay, take care. Love you all. Bye.
Thank you.